The internet did not just react, it exploded when fans began to notice that something between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs felt different. And in celebrity world, different is never a small thing. One minute the energy looked playful, the comments were flowing, and the vibe seemed light. And the next minute, the silence became louder than anything either of them had ever posted. Social media turned into a full investigation board with screenshots, timelines, and side-by-side comparisons of what changed and when. And the most shocking part for fans was how fast everything shifted. There was no dramatic announcement, no official statement, no long caption explaining the situation, and yet people were convinced they were watching a breakup unfold in real time through digital clues alone. What made this situation even more intense is the fact that Cardi B has always been someone who lives loudly and unapologetically online, so when her tone changes even slightly, her audience feels it immediately. Fans began pointing out that her recent posts carried a different kind of message, not directly calling anyone out, but talking about self-respect, protecting energy, and knowing your worth. Those words, standing alone, might have meant nothing, but in the middle of this sudden distance between her and Stefon Diggs, they started to look like a story. People replayed her old lives, dug into past interviews, and even analyzed her song lyrics again as if the answers had been there the whole time. At the same time, Stefon Diggs' silence added a completely different layer to the mystery, because in the world of viral celebrity relationships, silence is often interpreted as a response. Fans noticed the lack of interaction, the absence of likes, and the way both of their online spaces suddenly stopped overlapping. It created a situation where nobody had confirmed anything, but everyone had an opinion. Some believed this was simply two busy public figures stepping back from the spotlight, while others were convinced that something serious had happened behind the scenes, something that turned a fun connection into a messy situation almost overnight. The phrase "messy breakup" started trending not because of anything officially said, but because of the way the internet builds its own narrative. Every small move became a headline. A deleted picture turned into a breakup confirmation. A late-night tweet became a response. A new outfit, a new caption, a new song playing in the background of a video. Everything was treated like evidence. And this is exactly why the story kept growing, because it was no longer just about two celebrities. It became about the audience trying to solve a mystery in real time. Cardi B's fans, who are known for being extremely protective of her, immediately stepped in with messages of support, reminding everyone that she has always been transparent about her journey, her relationships, and her growth. They began posting clips of her talking about loyalty, about how she values real connections, and about how she refuses to stay in situations that don't match her energy. Those moments from the past suddenly felt connected to the present, even though nothing had been officially linked. On the other side, supporters of Stefon Diggs pushed back against the negativity, pointing out that social media does not always reflect real life, and that silence should not automatically be turned into guilt. What turned this from a simple rumor into a full trending topic was the timing. Both of them are at major moments in their careers, constantly in the public eye, constantly being watched, and any personal shift automatically becomes public conversation. Fans started asking whether the pressure of fame, schedules, and constant attention makes it almost impossible for high-profile relationships to stay private. The more people talked about it, the more views the topic gained, and the more it felt like the world was waiting for one of them to finally say something. There is also the Cardi B factor, the fact that she has always controlled her own narrative. She has never been afraid to jump on live and clear things up, to laugh at rumors, or to shut down stories in her own way. So the longer she stayed away from directly addressing this, the more curious people became. Was she choosing peace and privacy, or was she letting the silence speak for itself? That question alone kept the conversation alive for days. Another reason this story caught so much attention is because fans had already started to imagine them as a power duo. In celebrity culture, the idea of two successful people coming together creates a storyline that people get emotionally invested in.
When that storyline suddenly looks like it might be ending, it feels personal to the audience, even though they were never part of the relationship. That emotional investment is what turns a simple unfollow into headline news and a cryptic caption into a viral debate. Meanwhile, every public appearance by Cardi B became a moment to watch. The way she walked into rooms, the music she played, the energy she gave to fans, people tried to read her mood like a signal. Was she unbothered? Was she sending a message? Or was she simply living her life while the internet created a story around her? The truth is, no one knows for sure, and that uncertainty is exactly what keeps the topic trending. The most fascinating part of this entire situation is how it shows the power of social media in shaping celebrity narratives. Years ago, a breakup would be confirmed through a magazine interview or a public statement, but now it happens through digital behavior. The absence of interaction becomes louder than any official announcement, and the audience becomes the storyteller. In this case, fans built an entire timeline from clues that may or may not have been connected, and yet it felt real enough to dominate the conversation.
And still, through all the speculation, there's been no direct confirmation, which leaves the story in that perfect viral space where it can continue to grow. Because as long as there is no clear answer, every new post, every new appearance, every new move becomes another possible clue. That is why this situation refuses to die down. It is not just about whether they are together or not, it is about the mystery itself. Right now, the world is watching to see what happens next. Will Cardi B address it in her signature unfiltered style, turning the entire narrative into her own moment? Will Stefon Diggs break his silence and shift the conversation in a completely different direction? Or will this remain one of those modern celebrity stories that lives entirely through fan theories and social media analysis? Whatever the truth is behind the scenes, one thing is certain. This situation has proven once again that when it comes to Cardi B, even silence becomes a headline. Even a small digital move becomes a viral moment, and the audience will always be ready to decode every detail. And until there is a clear answer, the speculation, the debates, and the curiosity will continue. Because in the world of pop culture, the mystery is often more powerful than the confirmation.
At the same time, older clips of Cardi B talking about relationships started resurfacing, and suddenly they sounded completely different to the audience. Moments where she spoke about loyalty, about being tired of drama, about focusing on her career and her children, all began trending again, as if they were recorded yesterday. Fans were no longer just watching what was happening now, they were rewriting the past to match the present, creating a storyline that felt deeper and more emotional. This is how celebrity culture works in the digital age. Every old interview becomes a clue, every lyric becomes a prediction, and every laugh in an old video gets analyzed for hidden meaning. Stefon Diggs, on the other hand, remained almost completely out of the online chaos, and that contrast between Cardi's visible energy and his silence created two completely different narratives. Some people interpreted his quiet approach as maturity, suggesting that not everything needs to be played out in public, while others believed that the lack of response only made the situation look more suspicious. The truth is that neither side ever confirmed the dramatic theories that were circulating, but the internet does not wait for confirmation. It builds its own version of reality based on patterns, timing, and emotion. Another major reason this topic refused to fade was the way fans turned it into a debate about independence and growth. Many of Cardi B's supporters began framing the situation as a powerful moment for her, saying that she looked happier, more focused, and more in control than ever. Every new photo of her smiling, every performance clip, every glamorous appearance became proof, at least in the eyes of her audience, that she was entering a new era. Whether that had anything to do with Stefon Diggs or not did not even matter anymore, because the story had evolved into something bigger than a relationship. It became about transformation. There was also the constant question of whether all of this was being misunderstood from the start. Some fans pointed out that celebrities often clean up their social media, archive photos, or take breaks from interacting for completely normal reasons. But in a moment where millions of people are watching for drama, normal actions stop looking normal. A missing like turns into a statement. A solo appearance turns into a breakup confirmation. A confident caption turns into a warning shot. The line between reality and interpretation becomes almost impossible to see.